chosen to watch every episode of Buffy and tell you what they think about them. This is the Prose Bros Visit Sunnydale, Season 3.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Prose Bros Visit Sunnydale. I'm Jeff.
And I am Eddie Cruz.
And today we are doing Season 3, Episode 10, Amends.
Amends. A bunch of men.
Multiple men.
Multiple men.
Have we made that joke before?
I think we have.
Yeah, we have. Hey.
Oh, man.
All right. So, yeah, I didn't really like this episode. Did you?
I thought it was good. Here's my thing is, it might not have been a really good linear episode where somebody like fights evil and wins. Like, it's not Beowulf, but it's a good episode. Very informative.
That's the most important thing in a Buffy episode, that it's informative.
I kind of feel like we're all like dying to see more backstory, more like, character development. We want things to move forward, and this episode moves things forward for sure.
This episode is so informative. We even get a previously on Buffy before it starts.
It fails to give any kind of exposition, so because of that, they had to put everything that's happened in Buffy up to now.
I have some reasons for that.
Why do you think?
Well, we'll get to it in our 5x5.
We'll get to the season of 5x5 returns. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing 5 different things each. We're no longer just going over the plot synopsis.
Maybe. There's probably some overlap too. Yeah.
Plot synopsis.
Speaking of, do you want to tell us what happened?
The plot synopsis. Here we go. Okay, we start in Dublin, 1838, and Angel has a mustache. That's all I have.
That's it.
End of the episode. Okay. Angel has a sweet stash, and you kind of get glimpses into Angel being evil. This first one starts out with him lending money to a guy and taking his blood instead of his money. And then we cut to Angel acting like a crackhead, meeting Buffy on the streets of Sunnydale while she's shopping, and there's something definitely wrong with him. He says he can't get much sleep. He's seeing dead people. He goes to Giles. He says, "Giles, help me out." And Giles is like, "Fuck you. You killed my girlfriend and positioned her in this here apartment. And that's why I can't pick up any more ladies." And so
I must have missed that part.
Yeah, that was totally weird when he had the crossbow. And so he points a crossbow at him and kicks him out of the apartment. Then all of a sudden, Buffy actually, I guess, travels into one of Angel's dreams, then goes back to Giles and goes, "Hey, I'm actually in Angel's dreams now, and I don't want to be. Can you please help him so I no longer have to experience his dreams with him?" And Giles finally agrees to help him. They start looking it up. They spend a lot of nights in libraries looking up words in books. And Buffy has another dream where she's having sex with Angel, and Angel bites her, sucks her blood, and you find that Angel is being haunted by his past victims. He's actually being coaxed into wanting to kill Buffy. And the thing is that the victims aren't really the victims. They're the first. The first is the first evil. That's what Giles finds out is actually driving this whole thing. And they figure out there's no way to fight the first, right? So then Angel continues to fight his urge to bite Buffy, but can't, and thus jumps out of a window and decides to kill himself. And the first goes, "Well, if you kill yourself, that's close enough."
Yeah, not part of the plan, but
right?
Yeah.
And so Buffy finds him on a beach. He's waiting for the sunrise, and it starts snowing, and the sun's not going to come out that day. And the first just turns into like a puff of smoke, and we never see it again.
A British poof?
Well, yeah. It turns into a homosexual man. And we don't see it again until season 7. In the middle of all that, we find out about Bringers. We find out about all sorts of stuff. But
Willow and Oz get back together. So, nothing really happens in this episode?
Well, I mean, Willow and Oz got back together.
Yeah.
And we find out a lot about Angel.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. He's a son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
We also kind of allow him to become part of the group again. Because by Giles even reluctantly helping him out, he's now helping him out, and Angel is now thus a part of the group again, in my opinion. It's almost like resealing him to come back.
Wow, I had a different thought about that.
Going forward, Angel starts being around a lot more for the rest of the season until the end.
Mm-hmm. So, who do you want to go first, or should I go first? Or
I would like to ask you to go first because I just talked a whole bunch.
Yeah. So my first of our 5x5, I actually wanted to talk about the intro to the first and why they decided to do that for this episode.
I think it's because nothing was really explained in the episode itself, and you needed to know a lot of backstory. Let's say you've never seen Buffy before. You would have to have all that backstory in order to find out about Angel's misgivings and like his soul and why he's cursed and brooding.
So the first essentially is a catalyst, right, to bring all these memories to Angel's forefront, or at least while he dreams. I'm not sure how that was working.
Well, the whole
out,
thing is the first can't actually affect anything, right? It's non-corporeal. So it has to kind of just fuck with people in order to get them to do its bidding, right?
Yeah, and it seems so weird that it seems like a great idea, and it is. Mm-hmm. They revisited it, but in this episode, it's just like random. Mid-season 3 Christmas episode. Maybe it's like the whole idea of a ghost of Christmas past, and that's why they wanted to do it. And they're all, hey, the first evil. That would be a great idea. But there's really no payoff. Like,
I agree with you, but I think that's why, number one, they were able to revisit it. I think it went back into hiding in the sense of at the end of the episode. There's no payoff. There's no the first was destroyed. But I have to say that I wrote down that, and this isn't one of my 5s, I just wrote it down, that it's a very effective, persuasive, evil entity that can really be frightening and fun. You know, if you really think about it, the first is I mean, it's powerful, right? In a different way that all the monsters we've seen up to now is.
And that's what kind of bothers me. To me, this idea of being so persuasive, that seems like super, super powerful, and it's just this episode.
I agree with you and disagree because I kind of feel like it also adds a little bit of gravity to season 7. A lot of people say they didn't like season 7 because it was too epic. Well, this adds to that epicness. He was trying to be epic with season 7.
It can, but for the sake of this episode, we're just it's a monster of the week, as far as all we know.
As far as we know, but we've talked about the writer's intentions before, and we have to give them credit for this in order to say that they're setting up something for later, for sure, in this whole thing.
Possibly. That's whether or not you think they intended to go 7 seasons versus 5.
That is true.
Which is an argument that a lot of people make, that they were only intending to go 5.
And the 5 are a sweet, perfect. Yeah, you're right. This and Supernatural could have just gone 5 seasons and been a perfect
And I agree
series.
that the inclusion in season 7 of the first brings it all back, but that's kind of like an afterthought. Yeah. And it doesn't make me like this episode any better, at least that aspect. There are certain aspects that do. This one, however, does not, and it just kind of bothers me.
The episode didn't feel like to be continued. However, I do feel like when it turned into that big beast and just disappeared, it was kind of a to be continued. But then they cut to Angel and Buffy on the shore, and that kind of killed the whole mood of to be continued. Like, I am the first. I am this huge. Oh, look at me. roar, and then they just cut to Angel and Buffy and like snow and happiness.
That's why I say nothing really happens. Obviously, stuff does happen, but as far as the resolution of the
actual
big bad
monster
or
of
the
the
monster of the week, there is none.
I agree with you, but I guess that's where the divide between us liking and disliking, me liking the episode and you disliking the episode, is I see the potential for the future, whereas you are looking at it as one closed off episode.
Yeah.
And if you look at it in the scope of things, I'm like, wow, that's brilliant. They brought up the first and then had it go into hiding to become a bigger thing in season 7. And you're right. This could have all ended in season 5. But it feels like they wrote it open-ended so they could maybe revisit it. And in 5 seasons, they weren't able to. But in 7 seasons, they totally were.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So what's your first?
Well, I kind of wrote down just themes, right? So the overall theme of this episode was amends, but that's boring. And technically, Angel makes absolutely no amends to anybody.
Like we were saying, it's the be careful what you wish for episode that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
These are amends that nobody...
don't matter. He makes no amends. Essentially, if he had killed himself, he would have made amends.
Okay, can I play devil's advocate like I
Sure.
always do? The amends are maybe for Buffy and not for Angel. She's the one actually forgiving him and making amends with him. He's not doing anything. She's the one doing it.
Or Giles. Let's say the amends is for Giles.
Yeah, amends
The
definitely.
amends was definitely for Giles.
For anybody?
At the end of the episode, like I said, we get Angel back into the group of the Scoobies, right? So maybe the amends was actually to reunite the Scoobies and Angel, to allow him to come back into the group. Even Xander takes part in helping him in this episode, right?
Yeah, and I think there's a bunch of small amends. There's Xander saying, you know what, even though I hate Angel, I'm going to do this for Buffy. Mm-hmm. There's Faith, who still has issues with Buffy, and Buffy, who still has issues with Faith for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure why they're still holding on to this. Mm-hmm. But they're forgiving themselves or allowing themselves to at least tolerate each other, to have a good Christmas.
Mm-hmm. What's your second, Jeff?
So my second is also another first.
What's that?
It's the first time Oz and Willow are going to have sex. They don't, but it's supposed to be their first, which I think was another theme. If we're talking about the first, why include these scenes with Oz and Willow trying to seduce Oz? I know it's because she's trying to make things better, but I thought that was an interesting choice to include it on an episode that is about the first evil. Maybe it's also about the first time you're having sex.
Well, I would argue that this episode's called Amends, and
it is.
It's essentially Willow making amends with Oz, and that's why they included it. In this episode is about forgiveness, Christmas. We got like the whole Christmas Carol aspect. Just she's forgiving, or he's forgiving her, and they're getting back together. And what's a better way to show somebody that you want to be with them than to offer them your virginity?
Is it? I think that's an interesting choice on the writers.
It's wrong, in my opinion, and that's why Oz turns her down. But I think that was her way of trying to show him that she was all in this relationship.
All in. This is when I really start liking Oz, because you see that scene and he's not trying to take advantage of her. And he's like
he's
kind
like
of
a
uncomfortable.
genuinely good guy. He's not just like watching her from afar and being like, she's super cute, or whatever he normally does, and being annoying in a van.
Yeah. But I do think it's an
creepy
interesting
white
choice to have this idea of the first and have potentially the first time somebody's intimate in a relationship.
Right on. And then
I thought it was an interesting parallel.
Yeah, and I mean the parallel can go deeper and say like the first time Buffy and Angel had sex, he went evil. That was their first evil, and if they had sex, it would have been evil. The first evil is now a theme throughout everything.
That's awesome. I kind of like that.
I like that too.
So if they had sex a second time, it's not as evil.
Or it might have just turned it and been like super good. Like you said, like if Buffy and Angel had sex the second time, he didn't turn evil. He was just like, that was okay. I'm kind of over you. What's Faith up to?
She's like, oh my God. Oh my God, are you evil now? Are you evil? He's like, no. I mean, well, maybe a little bit. Like he doesn't want to crush
I'm
her
evil in the way that
self-esteem.
Guys are evil, and I'm kind of over you now that we've had sex.
Yeah, he doesn't want to fuck with her self-esteem, so maybe he's like, no, I feel a little evil. There's a little evil, definitely, but yeah. Well, maybe not full evil.
My second pick kind of goes along with yours, which was just a mention of. I just have a question for you. So when Willow is trying to seduce Oz, she has a wine carrier that's full of soda. So my question to you is, what kind of soda is the sexiest, and what kind of soda would you like to drink before losing your virginity?
Oh, fuck. Does it have to be a soda?
I mean, it could be anything. I mean, no. But I will caveat, I want two answers. One from when you were 16 and one from now when you're 57.
You're very specific.
Well, I mean, it's my pick. I get to make the rules.
Are you also 57? Is this?
Oh, I'm 74.
Okay.
I just turned 74.
Right on. Okay. So shit. Now I would say the sexiest carbonated beverage would be sparkling water.
Okay. What flavor? I would go lavender mint.
That's the sexiest?
Yeah, for 34-year-old me.
Okay.
Oh, 35 actually, sorry.
I'll do a raspberry lemon.
That's
pretty sexy.
Nice. That's pretty.
See?
Yeah.
You got it.
It's a Whole Foods thing, but it's also lemon raspberry. I'm sorry, you got the order mixed up.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
That
All right, now
I'm
16-year-old, are we going code red? We got some Jolt Cola. I would go Jolt Cola because I want that extra.
I actually forgot about Code Red. I was a big Code Red fan.
I remember.
Like, I think it might be Code Red, too.
I think I remember that. Also, red enough to be a Moscato.
Yeah, so all right.
What was your third pick?
My third pick is, who is Angel, and what does that mean in this episode? The first evil.
I like that.
The first evil is torturing Angel, but we see scenes of Angelus, and we also see a scene before he's evil, and it seems like everything gets transformed into one. He was the person he was when he was a human. And we've talked about how he now has a soul, so he's not evil, but he still has all those memories, so maybe he's everything combined. All three of these.
I would disagree that Angelus and Evil Angel have anything to do with the previous aspects of Angel. I think that pure evil Angel is just like maybe the opposite of what he used to be. He used to be such a like blowhard. They even say that like he never had a chance to die of syphilis.
That's
like he was just so useless that when he turned evil, that he became the opposite. He's like really good at being evil. He's like meticulous and just the perfect monster.
So, is that
thrives off of suffering?
Then is that the demon? If the original Angel in Ireland is so useless, did this demon help him in a way become a better person once he gained a soul?
Let's not say better person. Let's say more effective person. He's effective at killing. He's like he does a good job. I don't think he made him a better person. Like,
well, better. I say better person once he regains his soul.
I think that the sheer remorse is what makes him a better person. Like, just the fact that he really regrets killing all those people and the memories of killing all those people is what actually makes him a better person. Not so much the demon.
But in a way, it's because of the demon.
Yes, but at the same time, it's just kind of like if people in 1838 were able to live past 32, they would become better people. We are better people now that we're not 16, right? I would say that I'm a way better person than I was in my 20s.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
I think that you just get older and your mistakes tend to make you a better person. In this case, his mistakes were so evil that they made him a super good person.
Maybe,
Or a
though.
big
I don't
pussy,
think everybody's
depending
mistakes
on-
make them a better person, though.
That's true, but at the same time, I would say that for a large majority, that is true.
What about the president?
Well, he's a sociopath.
So I do think, Christians who listen to this, cover your ears. I thought of an interesting parallel between angel and the Holy Trinity, how they're all kind of the same, but there's different elements or aspects of, God, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus, which I never really understood. I see that
doesn't
kind
make
of
any sense.
No, it doesn't.
It should be God. It should be the Father, the Son, and the Mother. But they replace the Mother with the Holy Spirit because
sexism. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it makes more sense as like angel, or like his original self, angel and angelus. It's the man, the person who's trying to redeem himself, and the demon.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think that's very blasphemous.
It's not, well, comparing.
No. You're just paralleling two things. You're not calling angel God. Oh, did you? I don't know. Let's get off this.
Okay. What's next for you, Eddie?
What I wrote down was, I'll give you a hell of a deal. And that's from the scene with the trees, right?
Yeah, Buffy and her mother are going Christmas tree shopping.
Yeah, and they find a bunch of dead trees, and the salesman's like, I'll give you a fucking hell of a deal. And number one, it's funny because hell's directly underneath those trees, so it's a pun. And then number two is that what kind of deal could you give somebody on a dead tree? That's ridiculous, right? Like, how could you buy a Christmas tree that's dead? But what that led me down to is underneath this, and at the end of the episode, we find out that underneath those dead trees is where the harbingers are actually like chanting. And what that made me think of is, I would love to see an episode that's just a depiction of a person making the journey from normal person to harbinger, and how awesome that episode would be. It's almost like somebody being like recruited for ISIS, right? But like, how fucked up would you have to be to carve X's into your eyes and skull?
That's an awesome idea. I'm gonna add to that. It would be super cool if it started as a Christmas episode while shopping for a Christmas tree.
Wow. And just full circle Lion King did out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, fuck you,
You get
Darren
the tree, you get the X for Xmas, you get everything.
And we call it the Tree of Life because fuck you, Darren Aronofsky. Your fucking movies suck. Mother was trash, probably. I'm not going to watch it because fuck you.
Jen watched it by herself because I didn't want to and hated it.
I'll say The Wrestler was good. Requiem for a Dream is all right.
Well, we talked about this, right? I don't think Darren Aronofsky wrote The Wrestler, and that's why.
And he didn't write Requiem for a Dream because it was a book.
Oh,
But even then, it's just...
Well, The Fountain was a book too, right?
I don't care. That movie was god-awful. The Lion King was so much more effective in teaching that principle of like reincarnation and things. I don't care.
The Fountain... The Fountain taught me that
cancer.
The Fountain taught me that if I don't understand something, it must be really, really good.
Oh yeah, if you don't understand something, it's because you just don't get it, Jeff.
Yeah,
you just don't get it. You
and
just
it must
don't
be
understand
good.
it. Either way, I would love to see a prequel episode of a Harbinger. I would love to see the backstory. I think that would be an amazing episode. Anyway,
that would be great.
What is your 4th out of 5?
Oh, it's the 4th one already.
What's your 4x5?
My 4x5, 20.
The number 20?
The number 20.
Really?
Just that.
Just the number 20.
That. No, I'm kidding. It was just Christmas in general, and the fact that this is a Christmas episode, and for the most part, I hate Christmas episodes.
Me too. I would say that even The Simpsons drop the ball on Christmas most of the time.
You know what I do like? I know you don't like this show, but American Dad Christmas specials, normally pretty good.
I couldn't get into it. But right on. I'd never seen one of the Christmas episodes.
We should watch one. And if you still don't like it, you still don't like it. I don't know what to
We've
tell you.
done this so many times. You've shown me American Dad like
Christmas episode?
Not the Christmas episode. How about we do it during Christmas?
All right.
I'm down for that.
Okay.
I like Christmassy stuff during Christmas.
So part of the reason I think this episode and this Christmas episode is bullshit in general, I know you've said it's great that it brings all the Scoobies together, but for no reason other than the fact that it's Christmas. Xander is now fine with Angel because he wants to help Buffy. Why? What is his motive? Christmas. Buffy and Faith are okay, and Faith is going to Buffy's house just because of Christmas. And I don't like the Ghosts of Christmas Past idea that are haunting Angel. It's an interesting take, kind of, but that's what the Ghosts of Christmas Past do, right? They haunt you until you become a better person. But Angel doesn't become a better person because of it.
Nothing happens other than it starts snowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts snowing. And that's the worst part of it. This random climate change event where it's fucking,
It goes
70
from
something?
79 degrees to 36. That would cause a hurricane, especially next to the beach, as we've already proven that Sunnydale is oceanside.
Next to a beach, a desert, a forest, and
there would
who
be a
knows?
goddamn tsunami or something. Not a tsunami, probably like what's a typhoon. That much of a weather shift. I don't know if you guys understand weather, but it's just essentially hot and cold weather cause wind. That's what wind is made by. It's like it's hot over here, that causes pressure. It's cold over here, that's less pressure, so wind happens.
It sounds like you understand weather a lot more than Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Which is also really disappointing.
It doesn't just stop and go like, oh, now it's cold. Like, that would be fucking catastrophic.
So this is also super disappointing because it's a Joss Whedon written and directed episode. And, oh my God,
I'm sorry. I disagree with you because that fucking mustache was just so fucking glorious.
Is that enough?
That is enough. That in the backstory saves the episode. Even with the weather failures and everything else, I still like this episode.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, did I already say Angel has a mustache? Episode over. That's all that matters. Angel has a sweet mustache.
He has two different
mustaches.
styles of mustache.
One is a kind of Fu Manchu, almost like a wrestler handlebar mustache that doesn't go far enough down. And the first one's just a full bushy mustache with what's it? The douchebag patch?
Soul patch. Douchebag patch.
Close enough. I think that the more evil he is, the lower the mustache goes and the thinner it is.
So we established last season that smoking is evil. Maybe
Yes.
this season, facial hair is evil?
No, mustaches.
Mustaches.
You gotta think
Okay.
Hitler. You gotta think. You gotta go Stalin. People that are evil have mustaches. It's the truth.
Since we're bringing up mustaches.
And bangs. He also had bangs.
He did.
Yes.
But they're combed to the side.
Yeah, they were feathered bangs.
They weren't like Zoe Deschanel bangs.
No, Buffy had like autistic bangs. Like when you try to give yourself, no, maybe not autistic.
I think that was the style back then.
Where it
I
was
don't
like
think the whole like
kind of like uneven.
yeah, messy bangs. I remember that being a style. It wasn't like Zoe Deschanel, Betty Page, where it's like super uniform,
Yeah.
perfect. I didn't like her bangs or his bangs.
They're pretty bad.
Since we're on the subject of hair, can I just ask you, how is it possible for a vampire to grow hair or mustaches?
I don't know, but I fucking love it.
Is it just one of those things that they were like, this would be fucking hilarious, let's include it?
Well, I think they have touched upon that before because Cordelia, when they get to Angel, goes, how does he cut his hair? Because he cuts his own hair, right? How does he know how to cut his hair? So
can't.
they do like at least cover that at some point.
I'll say this. Do you want to Do you want to say what you think it might be, or should I just like throw in something random that's not in any episode?
Please throw in something random because I have no actual like conclusion to my hair rant.
Okay, vampires are dead. They're draining blood, which is essentially life. Maybe because of that, they're having some sort of like growth or life within them, and that causes them to grow fingernails, mustaches, or hair.
Oh, right on. But we've also concluded that it makes them uglier. Like the more you feed, the master in age and feeding has become uglier.
Well, see,
And
that
hair
was
kind of makes you prettier.
that was what you thought. It's just because he's that old, right?
I don't know. I think what you said was he's become so that you read somewhere that he's become so evil.
Yeah, that's what Joss Whedon said. I don't
Okay.
like that.
Okay, you don't like that, so.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, kind of makes it like pretty much canon, no? Doesn't it?
No, because it's not in any of the episodes.
Oh, that's true.
If it's in one of the episodes, it is.
All
if
right.
it's something that like this is just my personal opinion.
It's like George Lucas saying a bunch of things that wasn't in the prequels that you're like, that would make it better, but it wasn't in the fucking prequels.
Yeah, and plus I'm a big believer. Once you put something out there,
It's no longer yours.
Yep.
I agree.
yeah. So Eddie, what's your fifth?
My fifth is essentially the lack of conclusion to this episode. I think that you're probably on the same boat as me, is that
Yes.
the first just kind of disappears. It turns into a big scary monster and essentially thinks that it succeeded in making Angel kill himself. Buffy goes to Angel. Turns out the sun's not going to come out. Angel can't even kill himself. He says he can smell the sun. That sounds like bullshit. I didn't like that. But but at the end of the episode, essentially nothing happened. The first isn't killed. The first is set up to maybe come back, but like we've already discussed, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Technically, right now, it's a monster of the week. There's no conclusion there. We don't really have a conclusion as far as Angel and Buffy's relationship goes because they're just back to where they were before this episode. They can't have sex because he'll turn evil again. And he technically wants to bite her. So he's already like primed for it. The only thing this episode really did was bring back Oz and Willow.
Yeah.
And bring Angel back into the group. And make Xander not such a piece of shit.
Well, what I would argue, and maybe we can roll this into my fifth or have a joint fifth,
Okay.
is why have this episode? And you say it's to bring Angel back into the fold, bring him, make him be a Scooby again. I think it's the opposite. I think this episode is there to build up Angel and to have a bigger backstory so he can move on.
The
and have
departure?
another show. Yeah.
Kind of yeah, actually, to be honest, I think it does both in a lot of ways. It gives him more of a backstory so we know more about him and are closer to him so we understand why he's going to have to leave eventually.
Because, yeah, it seems we've been down this road before. It seems like Angel's never going to be the type of person that's going to be okay with Buffy. He's always going to have this, like, aggression, this sexual tension, this just everything involved in the relationship.
There's always going to be an underlying urge in him to bite Buffy.
To do something to her one way or the other.
Yes.
And
Make holes or use holes.
because of that, yeah, wow. Because of that, he's going to need to leave.
Yes.
And why build up this character if he's going to leave, if not for some
biggest
higher
problem
purpose?
with that is that when the first does come back, Angel is not in any way really like incorporated into the first's plan. Actually, it's the opposite. He comes in with this medallion to foil the first plan, but everybody is touched by the first in season 7. And it's not like she can't teleport to Los Angeles. Is that like out of her reach? His or her. I'm just so used to seeing the first as a female.
You would.
Well, I mean, it's Jenny Calendar and then it's Buffy.
I know.
It seems like it feels feminine. like almost like Marvel's Death, the character of Death in Marvel comics.
I feel like it's like a Helena Troy. Like if you're a man, like that's your weakness. Like his weakness would be Buffy or Jenny Calendar. I get it.
Either way, she doesn't incorporate him in her plan in season 7, so it feels like much ado about nothing. It's like so much build up in this episode that like the first sees that Angel is a threat and needs to take him and Buffy out. But by season 7, he's no longer considered a threat. And that's weird. And
that
I didn't
is
like
weird.
that.
And maybe like you could argue that something with like the whole powers that be and the path that he set on. I thought that was interesting in the episode that the first says him dying this way, or it's not part of the plan, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
And that's like an interesting idea.
And also it just sets up the first to be such a bitch. I mean, other than the fact that it's a female.
Ouch.
Ouch. But it just feels like the first is set up to lose, right? She failed at making Angel kill himself. And then when you come back, she fails at making Willow kill herself. The only people she makes kill herself are like very weak slayers that aren't even slayers yet.
We should try to remember this, which is going to be hard.
Yeah, dude. This is
listen
be very
to this
hard.
episode, but that's an interesting idea about the first always failing.
Yeah. And it's like the eventual
Defeat of evil?
inevitable loss, like the inevitable defeat of evil. The fact that evil can't win. No matter how good it's set up to win.
That's awesome. That's not in this episode, but I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
That's 5x5, baby.
I love rewriting these episodes.
Yeah, right? Just like that. I really want to see that Harbinger prequel. I want to write that. Like, what would drive somebody to carve X's in their eyes?
You should. I still think we both need to pick a season and write an episode in that season.
Sure.
That would be awesome. Wouldn't it be cool to see like a Harbinger, like, and you don't even know, some dude just going about his day in Sunnydale and then realizing that, like,
wouldn't it be awesome if, I mean, Jonathan ends up being essentially used by the first anyway, but wouldn't it be cool if Jonathan had become a Harbinger? That would have been awesome. But, Emily Dickinson guy. What a great Harbinger he would have been.
Bring somebody back.
Right? Emily Dickinson guy, that totally explains what happened to him. He didn't get fucked by a fish monster to death. He became a Harbinger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you need to do it.
All right, well, I won't because I have a job.
Oh,
And a baby.
yeah, well, you know.
You know, I can quit my job and you can hear her in the background if you...
Yeah.
You really
you
listen.
We can still dream, man. That's a good idea. It's a good fucking
There's
idea.
no more dreaming, Jeff. There's just work.
You were
and
so
bills.
positive earlier today about everything going on in your life, and now you're shitting on everything.
For the sake of comedy.
That's
like
it.
dark comedy, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I hate to do this to you because I don't even know if you kept track, but how many deaths were there?
I did.
Uh-huh.
There were 2 deaths.
May I ask you a question before we go on?
Yes.
Do deaths from the past count?
We counted them last season.
So let's keep on going down that road.
Yeah, I feel we have to. I almost don't want to.
Yeah, it feels like cheating.
Yeah. So there were 2 deaths, both flashbacks from Angelus. He killed
Angelus.
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 Angelus. Thank you for making me pronounce it correctly. It's the Irish dude with badass chops.
Dope chops.
Great facial hair in this episode.
Amazing.
And the curly-haired girl that he also killed, both with mustaches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Different levels of evil mustaches.
So I'm going to say 2, but you see, so I would say about 7 people that he killed.
And 3 Christmas trees.
Yeah, there's 3 Christmas tree deaths. I'm not going to include those.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. So overall, we're going to say we didn't talk about this, but you say you liked the episode.
I did.
Okay. I'm going to say nah.
All right.
A big nah, other than the facial hair.
Anyway, yeah. And we're at 5x5.
We are, totally.
Yes.
And
what's happening next week?
I totally didn't look it up, dude.
I didn't either.
I thought you were going to do that.
I'm just going to go ahead and spitball this. I don't know the title. I don't know anything about it. I'm guessing Wesley's coming into the picture.
I'm going to say no. The only reason
God damn it, Wesley needs to come into this picture.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying no, because we keep saying he's going to, and he's just not. Maybe he's only in a couple episodes.
Well, I can tell you what's not going to happen. The first isn't going to be a part of it.
Yeah, I can totally agree on
You looking
that.
it up right now?
Yeah.
Awesome.
The next episode is Gingerbread.
Gingerbread. We remember this episode, right? Once you get the title, I remember it completely.
It's the one where Joyce sees these little children and she goes on like a witch hunt.
It turns out that those children aren't real.
Yeah.
She finds 2 dead kids, right? And she's like, these monsters killed these kids. And it turns out that the kids are the monsters. And it is a plague against the city.
Yeah, and she goes on a literal witch hunt against Willow and Buffy and Amy. And at the end of the episode, Amy turns herself into a rat, which will stay that way till season 6.
And Willow almost dies. It's a good episode. I remember. At least it's a good monster of the week.
It's, I
guess we'll find out.
I don't remember not liking it. I think I liked it. I definitely liked it better than this episode.
Well, I would say that I don't know if I liked it better or not than this episode because I like this episode. So it might be on par with this episode. Or it might be better than this episode, but doesn't deter the fact that I did like this episode.
Well, that's okay. There we go. That was kind of a non-statement, but yeah. Very politician of you.
I have been known to politic a little bit.
To politicize.
Oh, anyway. How are you feeling at the end of this episode?
5x5, B.
Oh, God damn it. 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 Damn it, God. Damn it all to head. To head? What a dick.
Oh, are we still recording?
Yeah.
All right.